Hello, in this video we'll be talking about polynomials. Polynomials are algebraic expressions with one or more terms. Now, examples of polynomials are monomials. Now, monomials are algebraic expressions with only one term, such as 42, or 3x, or 4x squared, or 6xy. Now, each of this expression has only one term, and that's why they are called monomials, meaning one. We can also have binomials. Binomials are expressions with two terms. For example, 3x plus 2. This is a binomial as it has two terms, 3x and 2. Another example is 4x plus 5y. This is also a binomial, it has two terms. We could have a trinomial. And as you have guessed by now, these are expressions with three terms, such as 3x squared plus 4x minus 3. All of these are polynomials. These are just examples of polynomials. Now, another thing we should know about polynomials are the degrees of polynomials. If we have three expressions, such as 4x plus 2, 3x squared plus 4x minus 32, and 4x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3x minus 2. Now, if we have these three expressions, now what determines the degree of the polynomials is the highest power contained in the expression. So, for example, the first expression has 4x plus 2. The power of x is 1. So here the degree is 1. And we call these expressions linear expressions. Now, for the second one, the highest power that we have of x here is 2. We have another x here, but this is raised to power 1. But the highest power of x here is 2. So this is a degree of 2. Polynomials of degree of 2 are called quadratic equations or quadratic expressions. Now, for this one, the degree is 3 because 3 is the highest power to which x is raised. Polynomials with the degree of 3 are called cubic expressions. So now that we know the different types of polynomials and the degrees of polynomials, let's do some basic addition and subtraction of polynomials. So 2x plus 5x would result into 7x. Now, if we have 4y and we subtract 2y from that, we would have 2y. If we have minus 4x and we're adding 7x to that, we would have 3x. If we have 8x plus y minus 4y minus 7x, now we cannot add 8x plus y because they are unlike terms. Now what we can do is regroup these expressions so that we regroup like terms together and then we can do our addition. So if we do that here, we would have 8x minus 7x, which are like terms, 8x and 7x, plus y minus 4y. So all the terms are here. All we've done is regrouped like terms together, so it's easy for us to do our addition and subtraction. And so 8x minus 7x gives us x, and plus y minus 4y gives us minus 3y. So our answer is x minus 3y. We can't go further than this because we can't combine these two. Now, if we do the same thing here, we have xy plus 2yxz minus 2xy minus 3xz plus 3yz. Now, we have to regroup so that we have the xy's together and the yz's together and the xz's together as well, but there's none here. So we can redo this by saying xy, we have another one here, so this is minus 2xy plus 2yz plus 3yz minus 3xz. Now we can combine all these, and so our final answer here is going to be xy minus 2xy gives us minus xy plus 2yz plus 3yz, that gives us 5yz, and there's nothing to combine 3xz with, so we leave that as it is, 3xz, and that's our final answer. So when adding or subtracting polynomial expressions, we can only combine like terms. When we have unlike terms, we can go no further than that. So the next thing we'll be doing is multiplication. Now, unlike addition and subtraction, when we are multiplying, we can multiply all terms, whether they are like or unlike. So in this case, for example, 3 multiplied by 2x is going to be equal to 6x. So what we do is we will multiply the numerical part of the expressions, and we multiply the algebraic part of the expressions as well, if it exists, such as in the next question here. So we have 2 times 4, which is going to be 8, and then x multiplied by x is going to be equal to x squared. So 2x multiplied by 4x is equal to 8x squared. Now what if we have unlike terms such as this? Well, we still go ahead and multiply the numeric parts, which is 2x and 2 and 4, sorry. And 2 multiplied by 4 is equal to 8. Now, x multiplied by y can also be combined to give us xy. So x multiplied by 2y multiplied by 7x. In this case, we have 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 7, which is equal to 14. And we have x multiplied by y, which is xy, and xy multiplied by x is equal to x squared y. And in this case, we'll have minus 5 multiplied by minus 3, and that will give us 15. In case you're not conversant with the multiplication of signs, if we have minus multiplied by minus, this results in plus. If we have minus multiplied by plus, this results in minus. Plus multiplied by minus results in minus, and plus multiplied by plus results in plus. So when we have different signs, it results in a negative, just such as this. And when we have the same sign, such as minus multiplying minus, we have positive, and plus multiplied by plus also gives us plus. So here, minus times minus gives us plus, 5 times 3 gives us 15, and then x multiplied by y gives us xy. So that's how you multiply monomials. Now let's go to dividing monomials. The first question says 6x squared y divided by 2xy. So this is going to be equal to 6x squared y over 2xy. So 2 can divide 6 to give us 3. Now x will cancel out one of these x's to give us x, and y can cancel out y. So we're left with 3x. For the second one, we have 2xy over 6x cubed y cubed. Now 2 can cancel out 6 here to give us 1 over 3. Now x will cancel out one of these x's to leave out x squared, and y will cancel out one of the y's here to give us y squared as well. So just to be clear, what we have here, if we isolate the y terms here, what we have here is y over y multiplied by y multiplied by y. This is y cubed. So one y cancels out one of these y's to leave us with y squared, and that's why we have y squared here. I'm sorry I'm breaking it down further. I just want it to be that in case there's anyone watching the video that doesn't understand how we get to this point, it's clear to everybody. Now if we have 42x raised to the power 5 y raised to the power 4 over 7x y raised to the power 3. Now, 42 can be divided by 7 to give 6. Now, x here cancels out one of the x's here to give us x raised to the power 4. And y cube will cancel out the y's here to give us y. For the next one, we have 2 over 4. 2 over 4 will result in 2 can cancel out 4 to result in 1 over 2. Now, x here will cancel out the x's here to give us x squared. Y squared will cancel out y squared to leave nothing behind. And the z beneath will cancel out the z above here to give us z squared. So we can write our answer as z squared over 2x squared. And that's our final answer. So now that we've been able to do arithmetic operations on monomials, let's move on to binomials and other forms of polynomials. Now, if we have an expression a multiplied by x plus y, so in this case, we have a monomial multiplying a binomial. Now, the right way to do this multiplication is to distribute this a over the terms in the bracket. So what we'll have here is a would multiply x and a would also multiply y. So if we write that out, what we would have is a multiplied by x is equal to ax plus a multiplied by y is equal to ay. So an example of that would be if we have 5x multiplied by x plus 4. So to solve this, as we had mentioned, we'll distribute 5x over the terms in the brackets x and 4. And so this is going to be equal to 5x multiplied by x, 5x multiplied by x plus 5x multiplied by 4. So this is going to be equal to 5x multiplied by x is 5x squared, and 5x multiplied by 4 is 20x. So our final answer is 5x squared plus 20x. If we have another example, 2x multiplied by x minus 4. So this is going to be equal to 2x multiplied by x plus 2x multiplied by minus 4. And so this is going to be 2x multiplied by x is equal to 2x squared. And 2x multiplied by minus 4 is going to be minus 8x. So what we'll have here is actually not a positive sign, but a negative 8x. So we could as well have done that directly, but I just wanted you to see how we express that. So we have 2x multiplied by x to give 2x squared, and 2x multiplied by minus 4 to give minus 8x. And so that's our final answer. What if we have minus 3 multiplied by 4x minus 5y plus 6? So it's the same thing. The only difference here is that we're going to be distributing minus 3 over 3 terms. So this is going to be minus 3 multiplied by 4x plus minus 3 multiplied by minus 5y plus minus 3 multiplied by 6. So this is going to be equal to minus 3 multiplied by 4x is minus 12x. Minus 3 multiplied by minus 5y is going to be equal to plus 15y. And minus 3 multiplied by 6 is going to be equal to minus 18. And that's our final answer. What if we have an expression such as a plus b multiplied by x plus y? So in this case, we're multiplying two binomials. What we do in this case is, first, we distribute a over the second term, and then we do the same thing to b. So we have a multiplied by x plus a multiplied by y plus b multiplied by x plus b multiplied by y. So we distribute each of the terms in the first bracket over the terms in the second bracket. Let's solve an example so that it's clearer. If we have 2x minus 3y multiplied by x plus 5. So we have 2x multiplied by x here plus 2x multiplied by 5 plus minus 3y multiplied by x plus minus 3y multiplied by 5. And so this is going to be equal to 2x multiplied by x is 2x squared plus 2x multiplied by 5 is equal to 10x. Now minus 3y multiplied by y is equal to minus 3xy, and minus 3y multiplied by 5 is equal to minus 15y. Now we have no like terms that we can combine here, so this is our final answer. Another example, 4x minus 7 multiplied by 1 minus 8x. 4x multiplied by 1 is equal to 4x. 4x multiplied by minus 8x is equal to minus 32x squared. So we move to the second term. Minus 7 multiplied by 1 is equal to minus 7. Minus 7 multiplied by minus 8x is equal to plus 56x. Now we can combine these two, 4x and 56x, because they're like terms. And so this can become 4x plus 56x minus 32x squared minus 7. And so we would have this as 4x plus 56x is 60x minus 32x squared minus 7. Now we could be tempted to leave our answer this way, but when we write polynomials, we always make sure that the variable with the highest power is written first, and then we write the powers in the descending order. So the right way to write this polynomial would be minus 32x squared plus 60x minus 7. So the highest order comes first, which is x squared, and then we write the powers in decreasing order. Here we have x raised to power 1, and then here there's x raised to power 0, obviously. And so this is our final answer. Let's do one more example, which is x plus 2 multiplied by x squared minus 2x plus 4. Now it's the same thing. What we have to do is take each of the terms in the first bracket and distribute it over all the terms in the second bracket. And so if we distribute x over all the terms here, we'll have x multiplied by x squared is equal to x cubed. X multiplied by minus 2x is equal to minus 2x squared. X multiplied by 4 is equal to plus 4x. And then we move to the second term. 2 multiplied by x squared is equal to plus 2x squared. 2 multiplied by minus 2x is equal to minus 4x. And 2 multiplied by 4 is equal to plus 8. Now we can group like terms here such that this is equal to x cubed minus 2x squared plus 2x squared. And we have plus 4x, we have minus 4x, and then 8. So this is the same thing as this. We've only regrouped so that we can put like terms together. And so if we carry out this, we'd have that minus 2x squared will cancel out plus 2x squared. And plus 4x minus 4x cancels out. And so our final answer is x cubed plus 8. I need you to note that if we have 2 minus 7a multiplied by 2a plus 3b, I need you to know that this expression is not the same thing as 2 minus 7a into 2a plus 3b. Now in this case, what we have is we've been asked to multiply this entire expression in the bracket here by the entire expression in the bracket here. But in this case, the only term multiplying the term in the brackets is 7a. So 7a is the only thing multiplying 2a plus 3b. In this case, these two expressions are not together. They are separated by the negative sign here. So if we would solve these two, for this case, we would have 2 multiplied by 2a is equal to 4a. 2 multiplied by 3b is equal to 6b. Minus 7a multiplied by 2a is equal to minus 14a squared. And minus 7a multiplied by 3b is equal to minus 21ab. And so if we rewrite this, because there's nothing to combine, we can have this expression as minus 14a squared plus 4a plus 6b minus 21ab. However, for this particular case, what we would have is 2, which is just bringing down this 2, and then we would expand this such that this is minus 7a multiplied by 2a. This is going to be minus 14a. Minus 7a multiplied by 3b is equal to minus 21ab. And this is the final answer for this. So you can see that these are in no way the same. Okay, now that we've learned multiplication of polynomials, there are certain special cases that will be very useful for us to have in mind. And the first case is, imagine you have a situation where you have a plus b multiplied by a plus b. So essentially what we're saying is if we have to square a binomial such as a plus b squared, because that's what you have here. Now, if you explicitly solve this, you would have that a multiplied by a is equal to a squared, a multiplied by b is equal to ab, b multiplied by a is equal to ab, and b multiplied by b is equal to b squared. Now this can be written as a squared plus ab is equal to 2ab b squared. So essentially, if you have a situation where you have a plus b squared, your answer will be in the form a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. What if we have a minus b multiplied by a minus b? Now this is the difference of two squares. So a multiplied by a is equal to a squared. A multiplied by minus b is equal to minus ab. Minus b multiplied by a is equal to minus ab. And minus b multiplied by minus b is equal to plus b squared. And this is the same as a squared. Now minus ab is equal to minus 2ab plus b squared. So if we have a minus b squared, this is the same as a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. We'll also take note of this. Let's look at one more case where we have a plus b multiplied by a minus b. In this case, a multiplied by a is equal to a squared. a multiplied by minus b is equal to minus ab. B multiplied by a is equal to ab plus ab, and b multiplied by minus b is equal to minus b squared. And so this is going to be equal to a squared minus ab plus ab cancels out each other, and we're left with only minus b squared. So in this case, we have a minus b, or a plus b multiplied by a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. And this is the third one that we also have to keep in mind. So in summary, we can have three expressions which are, two of them are perfect squares when we have a plus b squared, and this is going to be equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. If we have another perfect square, a minus b squared, this is going to be equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And if we have this a plus b multiplied by a minus b, called the difference of two squares, this is going to be equal to a squared minus b squared. It is important that we know these expressions because it helps us to solve polynomials or algebraic equations quicker if we know these expressions offhand. If we're given an example such as if we have x plus 9 squared. Now we can solve this two ways. We can either go through the long route of saying x plus 9 multiplied by x plus 9, and then we'll go through x multiplied by x is equal to x squared, x multiplied by 9 is equal to 9x, 9 multiplied by x is equal to 9x, and then 9 multiplied by 9 is equal to 81, and then this is going to be equal to x squared, 9x plus 9x is equal to 18x plus 81. Or we could just use the first expression here, and we know that a plus b all squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So x is equal to a here, and 9 is equal to b here. So these we can write as a squared, which is x squared, plus 2ab, which is 2x9, plus 9 squared, which is b squared. And this is the same as x squared plus 2 multiplied by x multiplied by 9 is equal to 18x 81. And this is the same as this. So if we know these expressions, we can go straight to writing the answers without going through a long process. If we have x minus 4 squared. Now remember that we say that a minus b squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And here we know that x is equal to a and 4 is equal to b. So if we do that, if we write this expression using this, we'd have that x squared minus 2x4 plus 4 squared. And this is going to be equal to x squared. 2 multiplied by x is 2x, multiplied by 4 is equal to minus 8x plus 16. And that is our answer without going through the long process. What if we have x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 3? Now you recollect that we had said that a plus b multiplied by a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. So this simply becomes x squared minus 3 squared, which is equal to x squared minus 9. And if you expand this, just as we've learned before, you find out that you get x squared minus 9. Now that we've learned about multiplication of polynomials, let's move on to the division of polynomials. So if we have a question such as x squared plus 5x minus 6 divided by x minus 1. So how do we solve this? And so we go through the process of, we have x squared plus 5x minus 6. And we have x minus 1 here. That's our divisor. So we have, the first thing we do is take the first term here, which is x squared, and divide it by the first term here, x. So x squared divided by x is equal to x. Take this x and multiply it by the entire term of the divisor here. And so we have x multiplied by x is equal to x squared. And x multiplied by minus 1 is equal to minus x. And then we subtract this entire term from the original expression that we have. So x squared minus x squared is nothing. They cancel out each other. Now 5x minus x. Now what we have is 5x minus x. So this is 5x. This becomes x multiplied by x is equal to plus x. And this becomes 6x. So this is going to be equal to 6x minus, and then we bring down the last term here, which is minus 6. And so we divide the first term here, 6x, divided by the first term here as well, x. So 6x divided by x is equal to plus 6. And then we multiply this solution, the 6 multiplied by the entire term here. So 6 multiplied by x is equal to 6x. And 6 multiplied by minus 1 is equal to minus 6. And without doing anything, you can say that if this subtracts this, we're going to be left with 0. So our final answer is equal to x plus 6. So the next question says 12x cubed minus 11x squared minus 25 divided by 3x minus 5. Now, for us to correctly evaluate this, we can see that there's an expression missing here, which is our x. We have x cubed, we have x squared, but there is no x. We have to insert that even though it's missing, but the coefficient of x is going to be 0 in this case. So if we write out if we set up our division, we would rewrite this expression as 12x cubed minus 11x squared plus 0x minus 25, and then all this will be divided by 3x minus 5. So let's go. We have 12x cubed divided by 3x, 4x squared. So 4x squared multiplied by 3x is going to be equal to 12x cubed, and 4x squared multiplied by minus 5x is equal to minus 20x squared. Now we're subtracting the entire expression here. So 12x cubed minus 12x is going to be equal to 0. We know that. Now minus 11x squared minus 20x squared. Now this is going to be equal to minus 11x squared plus 20x squared eventually. So this is going to be minus 11 plus 20 is equal to plus 9x squared. So this is going to be 9x squared. And then we'll bring down the next term, which is our 0x. Let me get rid of this. So we do this again. 9x squared divided by 3x. That's going to be equal to plus 3x. So 3x multiplied by 3x is equal to 9x squared. 3x multiplied by minus 5 is equal to minus 15x. Now if we subtract all this from this expression, we have 9x squared minus 9x squared is equal to 0, we know. And then 0x minus 15x will be 15x. And then we can bring down our last term here, which is 25, and then we do it all over again. 15x divided by 3x, that's going to be equal to plus 5. Now 5 multiplied by 3x, That's going to be equal to 15x, and 5 multiplied by minus 5 is equal to minus 25. And as you can see, these terms are equal, so subtracting them will give us 0. So our final answer is equal to 4x squared plus 3x plus 5. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've been able to follow all that we've learned so far. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and tell someone about the channel. Thank you.